Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Monday, October 3rd. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Michigan State game is in 5 days, the game against Michigan in 54 days. The Buckeyes are holding steady at number 3 in both the AP and the coaches poll following their 49-10 win over Rutgers. Alabama jumped over Georgia to make the Crimson Tide the new number 1 team in the nation. The Dogs are second, the Buckeyes third. That win over Rutgers was a fairly eventful one. Miyan Williams tied the school single-game rushing record with 5 touchdowns. CJ Stroud, not quite as sharp as normal, but still led the offense on 7 touchdown drives. And Ryan Day and Greg Schiano had a little disagreement on the sidelines after a late hit on a fake punt late in the game. So today you're going to hear directly from all 4 of those guys from the post-game interviews. We're going to start with the head coaches. The very first question Ryan Day got following the game was about that incident that started with the Buckeyes picking up a first down on a fake punt. Now, this was not a called play, but Rutgers overloaded the left side to try and block the punt, so punter Jesse Mirko read the defense and took off running for a 22-yard gain. He got hit very late out of bounds, which set off a lot of pushing and shoving, and caused Schiano to run all the way across the field, and then yelling back and forth with Ryan Day a little bit. Here's what Ryan Day had to say about the incident after the game.
Yeah, they came after the punt, and Jesse rolled out to the right, and nothing we had ever worked on. He just saw it and took it. He was just a football player, and then took that shot on the sideline, and things got heated, and just one coach defending their side, one coach defending theirs. No hard feelings at all. Told him that after the game, and have an unbelievable amount of respect for him. So that's all that was.
From Schiano's perspective, it was a similar story. He was asked if the incident was, him taking exception to something that Ryan Day did.
No, it's not Ryan Day and I. I think it's 2 coaches that protect their players. My player was in a sea of Ohio State players, and it was closing fast, and I wanted to make sure of 2 things. Number 1, I wanted to stop our team from coming across the field. That's how things get very ugly. And I wanted to make sure that our player got out of there safely. Both very competitive guys. I got the utmost respect for Ryan. We're good friends. We're good. There's no problem there between us.
As far as running a fake punt in that kind of situation went, Schiano was asked how he felt a team with a lead should handle a late game situation like that one.
I think I know where you're going with that. I think it's our job to stop them. That's our job. And I don't think that was called. I think they kind of just got ran because scheme. Sometimes you have things that are automatics and then they happen. I don't know for sure, but that's not an issue. That's not an issue. That had nothing to do with the whole chain of events there. It was literally just 2 competitive guys that were protecting their players. And like I said, I just did not want a fight to break out. It's not good for Rutgers. It's not good for Ohio State. And it's not good for college football. So mission accomplished. It didn't happen.
Now on to the rest of the game. And while CJ Stroud in the passing game has really carried things for the last few years, the Buckeyes had to win on Saturday without a huge statistical day from Stroud. He finished just 13 for 22 for 154 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. That pick came on the first snap of the second half. Day was asked how Stroud played and whether that interception might have just been a result of him just kind of losing focus in a lopsided game.
Clear, it was, you could see they had a really good game plan coming in. They were going to, huddle, wait in the huddle, snap it at 10 seconds and try to eat as much clock off the game clock as possible and try to win the game of possession. And then on defense, you could see they were playing a lot of 2 high safeties really deep and forcing us to run the ball, which we ultimately had to do. And we came out with a shot coming out in the first play of the second half, and we missed it, but there was a lot of really good throwaways that weren't there today by CJ, and he made some really good throws as well. So that's part of competing. That's part of it. Those are the types of games that sometimes we're going to have to play. And overall, I thought it was job well done.
From his perspective, Stroud said part of the issue was just that Rutgers was really dedicating a lot of effort to taking away the pass from the Buckeyes.
From my perspective, we won. Shit, I don't really care. I think their goal as a defense was not let our pass game win, and so we ran the ball. So early in the season, I said I was cool with that. It's not just about me; it's about getting wins and about other people eating. So when it's time for me to shine and do my thing, I feel like we'll do that. But I think their main goal was just to stop us on the passing game, and we still kind of had efficiency with that, but they were taking a lot of stuff away in too high coverage and things like that. But just got to be smart with the ball and the one play out of halftime, and then after that, I think we had a good game.
Stroud said after the game that when teams try to take away the pass like that, It's refreshing to know that they can lean on the run game with Miyan Williams or Travion Henderson and keep the chains moving anyway.
Right. I definitely think that's something that we need just because, we are pretty dynamic on the outside. And then I think we do a great job on the inside protecting. And I definitely think that maybe other teams will try, but if we can run the ball that good and connect on some of the plays like we were doing in the past game, then it'll be a recipe for a win and success. So I definitely think that we'll continue to get better and better. Just got to clean up some things on the offensive side of just like pass pro and me just with my read, seeing one high, too high, and things like that. But they did some things on film we didn't think they were going to do. So just got to be prepared for everything. But I think we'll continue to be great.
Injuries have been arguably the biggest story of the season for the Buckeyes. Saturday, running back Travion Henderson didn't feel right in warm-up, so they had to turn to Mayan Williams instead. All Mayan Williams did was run for 189 yards and a school record-tying 5 touchdowns. Day was obviously happy with that, but also happy with all the other things that went into Mayan's big day.
23 carries, or 21 carries, 191 yards, 5 touchdowns, and the big one for 70 yards. It says a lot about the way he was running, especially in the red zone. I think our red zone numbers right now are really good, and it's a big part of it is the offensive line and the way we're running the football. But I just think overall the tight ends, the wide receivers, everybody's involved with this run game. But Miyan was running hard today and finished a bunch of runs in positive. He turns a 3-yard run into 5, keeps us on schedule. And, and it was tough down there in the red zone. They kind of dug in a few times. We had to go for it on the 4th down. And but Miyan had a really good day for us.
Now, when Mayan Williams showed up at the stadium on Saturday, he obviously didn't know that he was going to be the main back. So after the game, he said when he heard that Travion Henderson wasn't able to go, he knew what he had to do.
It wasn't like a joy of energy. I just told him, I looked him in his eyes, I told Trey, I got you today. And it's a blessing just to be just up there with them names. Those are legends here. So yeah, it's definitely a blessing.
Williams' longest run of the day was a 70-yarder early in the 3rd quarter, 1 snap after Stroud threw that pick on the previous possession. He said he took the handoff and had nothing but green grass ahead of him. So what goes through your head when you see something like that?
When I broke and I just seen green grass, I was just running. I was just telling myself don't get caught. So I just kept running.
How important is it to get one of those? Excuse me.
It's not really important. It's just it's a blessing. Just a blessing to have break one. So yeah.
On the defensive side of the ball, it was another big day for the Ohio State linebackers. Steele Chambers had 11 tackles, including 2 tackles for loss. Tommy Eichenberg had 9 tackles and a half of a TFL. Those guys have just been good all year, but has Day actually seen improvement at that position as well?
Yeah, I think they're just playing faster. They're diagnosing plays faster. They understand how teams are trying to attack them. And I think I mentioned this before. I think it's twofold. One is a year under your belt of playing and figuring out how teams are attacking you and in-game adjustments and just seeing things over and over and over again. And you think about some of the best linebackers that we've had here in the last few years. It's usually guys who have played and seen things. You can flash when you're athletic, but it's the diagnosing of plays and understand how teams are trying to really come after you. But then also I think they feel comfortable in the scheme. I think they really have a good relationship with Jim Knowles, who they meet with every day. He's their position coach, and so he gives them really good perspective on how he fits into the run, but also in the pass game, and that's huge. You can just see it. I think they're playing that way. You can just kind of feel it when you're on the sideline. I'm sure that from your point of view, you see the same thing.
Well, after opening with a 5-game homestand in which they went 5-0, this week is the first road trip of the season for the Buckeyes. They're going to head up north to Michigan State to play the Spartans Saturday at 4 o'clock. The Spartans, in case you had not been paying attention, lost 27-13 to Maryland on Saturday. They will enter this weekend's game at 2-3. We will be up in East Lansing for that one. Kevin, Tony, and I will have complete pre- and post-game coverage, plus all the great writing and photos and everything else you've come to expect from BuckeyeHuddle.com. We'll be up there Friday night. Maybe I think we're planning a little dining segment. Our first dining segment of the year. Those popular segments from previous seasons are coming back. And then we'll have complete pre- and post-game coverage at youtube.com/BuckeyeHuddle. And, of course, coverage throughout the week at BuckeyeHuddle.com. Sign up today. A lot of fun. A lot of really insightful commentary from Mark Giffler and Alex Gleitman covering recruiting, and Ross Fulton, Devin Radcliffe, Justin Whitlatch covering X's and O's. Really, really a fantastic group of guys. A lot of insight, a lot of analysis there, all at BuckeyeHuddle.com. That'll do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.